Mortal Kombat 1 is giving away tons of free content. Ed Boon validates and capitalizes on this by posting on Twitter the exact dates that clearly shows it's weekly and bi-weekly content. We just don't know how long it's gonna go, but from what I'm seeing, it's gonna be active for a while. All you have to do is simply log into Mortal Kombat 1. This could be ongoing for a while to help the statistical approach for like active players, and a pretty smart move on their marketing standpoint. As long as they're legitimate aesthetics, I feel that these are genuine wins. Me, when I utilize some of these skins, I really feel like I'm actually playing Mortal Kombat like what I signed up for. It's a lot better than those expensive fatalities for sure. So it's pretty cool on their end. MK1 giving away free content could be in conclusion with either trying to have this adaptation of active players. We know that MK1 usually peaks viewership and active players, especially when they drop new content, which is usually every game, but it seems like it sporadically happens more often with Mortal Kombat 1. Thus being because MK1 comes off as a confusing game. It is a tenured franchise. It is a legacy franchise with not actually legacy type gameplay controls, but OGs love this game. Younger folks love this game. All ages love Mortal Kombat, and it is by far the most mainstream fighting game in history up until this day. But what we need to really look into as to why they could be doing this much free content. Now, there's one aspiration also, is that the fact that they're probably doing this content to hype up and really start marketing for the DLC so people can purchase that. Or it could be to just have actual analytics like Steam charts or console charts, whatever it may be, for having active players. At the end of the day, it is a business, and there's nobody else that does business as well as what MK1 does, or Mortal Kombat in totality does, when it comes to mainstream and just actual casual players. It is a party game at the end of the day. It's not known as its competitiveness as Tekken and Street Fighter. And so the other game that can relate to it in an FPS genre is Call of Duty. I love to say that reference because MK1 and Call of Duty are the same. Free content, though, can mean some of those things, either active players or just, you know, whatever they can do to hype it up and to get people really rolling in this year too. Now, there is other things also that they could be doing for this year too, because year two is important, right? Year two is something that we got to dive into where we're like, we need gameplay that to be optimized, to be better. We need to, I just don't know how much it does evolve from this point forward, but they drip fed everything. So from now, I know it's weird to say they drip fed when they really released probably, you know, the most actual crossover characters, guest characters, and all types of cameos. And it was like every 3 weeks was a character cameo, another 3 weeks character, another 3 weeks cameo. But it did essentially feel that they drip fed everything, probably because Mortal Kombat has done one thing. They had spoiled the shit out of their audiences, which is me. Although I play competitively, at the end of the day, I am a huge fan of this game. And so the free content does help out a lot. By far, Mortal Kombat 1 has the best content there is when it comes to fighting games, because they have the most of it also. So although a lot of it can be ass at times, I think a lot of like the invasions stuff was not as great, especially like the seasons that they're doing. I still don't, I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they're ass. It just does not feel like Mortal Kombat. But these free skins they've been giving out, this has felt more like Mortal Kombat. The movie skins, the Ultimate MK3 skins also, and just some of the classics and like the actual, you know, the nods and the respects to like all the OG players, or even like MK4 would be pretty cool pretty soon. You know, the Deadly Alliance, Deception, 3D era aspects, skins, also aesthetics. This game aesthetically needs a lot of things to really at least correlate with its audience, because the gameplay is confusing, as I mentioned earlier. When you have this cameo system, I feel the classic skins do help out a lot, make you feel like, I don't know why, I feel bougie when I'm playing, you know, Scorpion in his, you know, his 95 skin, or the Deadly Alliance skin. I think that those are skins where I'm just like, ah, yes, I feel like Scorpion again, you know. It could be because we're just so used to being like an evil approach, Scorpion type personality. But, you know, Sub-Zero, when you see Sub-Zero really like doing his thing in those skins, those are things that we are in favor of. It just looks better, and it just seems like the game looks a whole lot better for a viewer standpoint, a casual standpoint, and familiarity standpoint, right? At the end of the day, Mortal Kombat is familiar with casuals if they know what the hell they're watching. some of the skins, you're gonna look at it and be like, what the hell is this? I don't even know that was that character. So when you have these, it's a lot of homage and respects to like those classics. But I am really excited for what's going down when I mentioned the confusing part of this, because casual fans have really just like branched off of this game just simply to how, and a lot of streamers really mention it too, like just the inputs, the staggering offense, not really a lot of entertaining aspirations. Like it's not as much as, I mean, it is a mixed game, of course, like a 50-50 type game when you're doing combat and fighting. But it's a lot of low pokes, it's a lot of grabs, and it's a lot of projectile full screen battles. And there's not really a lot of incentives at times to get into fist fights fully, unless you're like Johnny Cage, maybe Lee May. Those are a lot more rapid characters. And so you need incentives in order to do that. And I think that has also scared away a lot of the casual, because it is very tactical in which Mortal Kombat approached this game. They want it to be competitive, but when you see the numbers with Evo, it's like, oh shit, you know, the numbers did not add up to what Mortal Kombat 1 was really essentially looking for. And it does break my heart, but I also enjoy it at the same time, because I think competitive games should always remain with Tekken and Street Fighter. If Mortal Kombat can just go all in on being casual, like they'll forever be amazing. I mean, you're always gonna have your pros anyways, that at least in the NRS era for sure, that have been just dominating. And you will have your handful of people that are still playing at a highest level within these games, but it's just not going to be predominantly known as the statistics. And that has shown literally at Evo, it showed that Evo had its lowest numbers, at least at the largest Evo ever. The lowest numbers of somebody entering a recent game was Mortal Kombat 1. I think before that was like Alpha Strike, like Third Strike, I think, or something like that was Street Fighter, like an old ass game. But the game ahead of that was Mortal Kombat, and this was the first arrival to Evo for like this launch for Mortal Kombat. Although Mortal Kombat's almost been out a year, it wasn't at Evo yet until this time around, at the biggest Evo ever, but yet the least amount of entries. And that also shows the variances as to why, like, well, maybe they should opt into just remaining casual and remaining all in on that. The love letters that we got to this day are going to be the games we always talk about. It's MK9 and MKX. It's like, those games gave us so much fluidity and explosiveness. It like the way like Tekken plays right now is it gives me a lot of memories of how MK9 MKX was, like a lot of mix-ups, 50-50 aggression through the ad, like just hey yo, but you know what I mean by that. And I feel that with 11 slowing it down, Mortal Kombat 1 does remind me of 11.5. because you just add the cameo system, and the cameo system is really a partial difference that makes a lot of sense when it comes to some of these combo characters that are just trying to do optimal combos on their own. And so therefore, like, cameo is supposed to help enhance these things. And although it does enhance and it makes the gameplay faster, it relies too much on the cameo system, which is possibly one of the hardest input systems, at least for a casual player. Again, I'm speaking on the casual sense. I'm not speaking on anything. And a lot of people have come forward and talked about the cameos, like how much they either enjoy them, how much they like them. I'm open-minded about them because now we get to see even more characters, more lore, or I wouldn't say lore with cameos, but at least you see the characters that you do know and familiar faces, and bringing back OGs. Some that probably would never be able to make a game in a while. At least they are arriving in this cameo segment. But still, the cameo, if the cameo is not helping as much, like, what good is that? And all of that refines back to the point where I'm like, well, at least MK1 is giving us some free content now with these skins, because when you look badass, at least for your viewers, if you're a streamer like me or a YouTuber, it just looks cool for your viewers to look at. Especially me, I don't always just have video game people that watch my streams, but I do have people that know Mortal Kombat, you know what I mean? Like the movies or the costumes or anything like that. So when they come through, they're like, oh shit, it's Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, get over here. And that always relies and falls back to that the way Scorpion actually looks, the way the Sub-Zero looks in the 95 movie skins, or just anything like that. Anything that pays homage to what we actually know these characters are. Some of these characters look so different that we don't know who's who at some point. And so therefore, like, this free content is a smart idea. Also, MK1 opting into free content is just so good to feel like you're actually giving back. I know gaming is a business these days. And I know gaming is something that like everybody's relying on these. I'm pretty sure Mortal Kombat might end up with like a fight battle pass or whatever, the same way like Tekken is right now. But I'm not sure when they will, because Mortal Kombat loves their money at the end of the day. So we have to enjoy when they actually are giving us free stuff, which is why I'm excited as shit to make this video, because I'm like, finally we got some free content that is new. And yeah, so having that free content is something that I feel us as a community, you know, an MK community is really harsh and negative. So if us as a community can really rave about how much we like different things that they patch that make faster stuff, like adding a new moveset to Lee May, adding a different thing, like even back when they added like the triple clone to like Sub-Zero, and when they added other stuff, I know they still need to buff Sub-Zero, by the way, bottom tier, but you know, buff Scorpion, when they made Ermac the way he actually did play, although he's a high execution, he's still like a very, very great player or great character in this game, especially when you put on that ultimate MK3 suit on him. Man, it looks like you're facing a whole different person again. And so that aesthetic really adds to it. I feel that's one of the biggest jumps. Another one could be Smoke also, but Smoke kind of looks the same to an extent when they use a Smoke 95 skin now. It's an inspired skin, right? By the way, it's not, Smoke was not in the actual 95 movie. It is an inspired skin, but that also gives creativity. See, it allows Mortal Kombat to experiment the way that we wanted it to be, these free content. So I hope they keep doing this, and this is why I'm about to, I just dropped this video. You know, I'm talking about why Mortal Kombat with the creativity, giving us stuff, allows them to experiment again. That's what we loved about Mortal Kombat, when they were just kind of free. And then at the end of it all, like, we don't even know if they're going to end up still with WB games in the long haul. There's been a lot of rumors where WB trying to do something with their gaming aspects and their aspirations. They might change off. I don't know what they're going to do with the Mortal Kombat IP. They might send it off somewhere. So if that happens, and if what we've formerly known as Midway, if NetherRealm can do something where there's somewhere where somebody could make them, you know, really opt into just being creative and fun again and just giving tons of content, I think it could be Xbox. And Xbox would be down for a lot of free content, a lot of community stuff, because especially if it goes on Game Pass. I think MK11 came, to Game Pass like on its third year, or is it its second year? I don't really remember, but that can help out opt in for a lot of free content. So I feel we just have to keep letting MK1 know. I really believe in this game. I enjoy for what it is now. There's a very loyal audience for MK1 right now, even as shit as it has been, or at least as slow as it has been progressing to a better solution. It still has a massive fan base, and I'm still a huge fan of it. Sometimes it is hard to play, or I'm like, not hard in terms of skill set, but hard as in because it doesn't feel as MK still. But when you put on those aesthetics and free skins and you're giving us free content, by far the best content though. Amazing content, but I just don't know what great content is going to do for a game that's fundamentally just not going to really execute the way we want it to be. Gaming needs to be executed, core, fundamental, foundational play, and that will be dope. Another type of free content that would be through the roof, that would literally, and I posted this on Twitter also, would be like the jukebox. Dude, if you give us a jukebox, man, that'll be so sick. Giving us a jukebox like feature to like hear all the Ultimate MK3 is the best Mortal Kombat soundtrack of all time. So if you give us something like that, that'll be so cool. Like what Tekken does. Like Tekken has that, or online practice where like instead of matchmaking, waiting in between matchmaking, I have a streamer up right now, and he's waiting in matchmaking and it's just blank, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like at least give us like practice mode, like while we're waiting in matchmaking and stuff. Those are like two of the coolest features where I think that would really ramp up Mortal Kombat 1, because that's just the way it goes. It keeps the flow going. There's music now, there's a vibe, and then bringing back like classic stages. Like there's so much they could be doing right now, but for some reason it seems restricted while delivering. Still, the best content, but we all know how great Mortal Kombat can be. It's why we fell in love with the franchise in the first place. So I just hope they keep bringing this stuff. That's why I want to make these videos and just help with the awareness of like, hey, we love Mortal Kombat. Sometimes we be saying shit, but it's like because we want the game to be better. And so I hope so, especially in an era where games are all like being weird nowadays and they get unfinished and all that. Like, we just want a fun game, and I know Mortal Kombat can do it, NetherRealm can do it, if Tekken can do it, like I know MK can have their time back around, because back-to-back games that were like not completely fulfilling in my terminology. I think MK1 is way better than 11 gameplay wise. The content's starting to get there up to like MK11 par, but I still think MK11 content was better. If we can get some more content the way they did with MK11 and just like way better gameplay with the jukebox and like some classic stages, now that we got classic skins, and just like maybe like some type of practice mode, or we know that King of the Hill updates have been all going down too, man. So like content while trying to really implement this core gameplay and make it better. Man, this could be such a phenomenal game. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace.